Yeah, so a year and a half into my into my course rather. In first year, you do a lot of public health related subjects, so learning about the reason people get certain diseases, like I don't know, COPD, obesity, diabetes, heart conditions. A lot of these like the biggest public health risks in Australia. So we learn about like smoking and poor diet and the things that cause these, as well as like socio-economic status and these kind of things. So if we want to go into research or like stopping these things from happening at an earlier stage than paramedics, then we've got the ability to do that. And then we also do placements. So in first year we did 4 non-emergency placements, which involve transport and non-emergency care, just to kind of test the waters. So we have some idea of what goes on. And then at the end of the year we did 2 weeks of placement with an ambulance crew, which involved all sorts of like emergency situations as well as some non-emergency situations. And that was at the same station with the same ambulance crew for the duration. I think everyone kind of deals with things in different ways, but you go into, or at least I went into the job and the placements expecting to see a lot of these things, but a lot of the stuff is still quite difficult to see, especially when, like with my lack of experience and knowledge, when something kind of frightening happens and you don't know what to do about it, it can be quite intense to deal with. But after every scene, you'd have a talk to your paramedics that you're with and they'd answer any questions you had and make sure that you're all right. And then if a particularly nasty scene happens, which did, they take you off the road and you have to see, it's not a counsellor, but someone quite similar from Ambulance Victoria, and they come around when a particularly traumatic event happens that they flag, and then they talk to you for about half an hour just to make sure that you're feeling all right before you go back out on the road and start working again. They teach a lot of safe practice now compared to what they used to. There was a study that came out that showed things like the risk of suicide and injury for paramedics is a lot higher than the average person and a lot higher than other emergency services. So they're focusing a lot now on like mental health of paramedics, as well as like proper lifting technique and stuff like that is really getting drilled into us at an early stage so that we don't injure our backs and things like that, because it's quite a common injury to sustain. My mum's pretty happy with it, I think. She is a bit of a people's person, so she enjoys that I'm going into a career that can help people. And my dad likes it as well. I was a bit worried that he wouldn't. I was doing engineering before I did paramedics, and I think he liked that a bit more. But I think that might just be money related and potentially prestige, but he is also pretty proud of what I'm doing. Both my parents were police officers. My dad still is, and my mum used to be. So I suppose they're used to working with the public and things like that, and you hear about different scenarios that they might have attended that can help out. My mum's also done a lot of work in like social housing and like lifeline related work. So she's pretty into helping people that are in complicated situations or difficult situations, and I think it definitely has had an effect on my career choice. At the moment, that's what I see myself doing, but I mean, it can always change. I think I'll try and move from on the road though to maybe more management stuff, because the job is quite physically intensive. And as I get older, doing the job will get more difficult. So if I can move into like managing a station or further up, that would be a good option. Increase in pay and less like physically less demanding role.